Good morning. It's Thursday, September 19th, about 6 a.m. Central Time. Overnight, the precious metals volatility is increasing after Wednesday's massive trading range as traders digest the message that Jerome Powell is trying to convey. Yesterday, we saw a range in gold of about $54.70. Markets were able to achieve all-time highs. Silver, quite a big range, $1.55. Low end of that after Jerome Powell spoke and just right around 3 o'clock Central Time, hit about 30.03, and the market snapped back just a bit. Now, looking at the overnight price action, complete reversal of what we saw in the early hours of the overnight session. December gold, 26.11, up $12, the high 26.20, not able to achieve those new all-time highs. The December silver market really reversing course. 31.47, up 78 cents, the high 31.62 and a half. It did bump above yesterday's high. Quite a big range here, and I think that the deciding factor on that was the copper market, up 6.2 cents. 436 last, another big range in that market, up about 1.5%. Finally, platinum just below the $1,000 mark here. So what traders are really focused on now is that the Federal Markets Open Committee now has a target range for the Fed funds rate of 4.75 to 5%. Officials are now solely focused on the slowing labor market, with inflation still too high, but closing on the central bank's 2% annual target. Jerome Powell, he gave clues as to what to watch going forward. In his Q&A portion of the press conference, he repeatedly said policy recalibration. What that meant is that the rate cut was not a panic. It was a panic for the future events. It was more of an admission of guilt that he should have cut rates in July. He should have done 25 basis points in July, and he should have done 25 basis points at this. He had to catch back up to what other central banks are doing. So he recalibrated that Fed funds target rate. Now, the clue that he left was watch for the revisions, and that most likely points to the deteriorating labor market. Something interesting that he did cite, slightly off topic and a bit more political, was that he said that the illegal border crossings are most likely what are taking up some of the jobs that are out there, and U.S. labor market people are being laid off. This is my speculation, and that's why initial claims are going up, and that's why the unemployment rate's going up. But those jobs are maintainingly being filled, and the economy is still quite robust. Bit off topic, don't criticize me on that. So Jerome Powell said that now taking a step forward would help limit a full-blown chance of a downturn while being careful not to avoid committing to this as a new pace of the rate reductions. So we want to look at the pace here. He did 50, market was pricing in 100, so 50 now, 25 at the next meeting, and 25 at the following meeting, November and December. What the markets are pricing in right now is 65 basis points, meaning that one of those is 50 basis points. That's what the market thinks. That's why U.S. equities and many of these other markets are exploding in price action, and the dollar index is coming off a bit in the overnight market here. So gold is heading back towards those record highs. We're going to want to keep an eye on that. Copper price's strongest level in 2 months. Asian currencies notched up to 14-month highs, and the Japanese yen, that's something else to look at, had weakened. So if you look at the Japanese yen weakening, what's probably happening over there is they're thinking that the Bank of Japan is probably going to stall on doing any kind of raising of interest rates or getting aggressive in their policy, while the U.S., I think, takes maybe a step back with the higher for longer. This is the way the players of the carry trade are looking at it, that the U.S. will maintain higher for longer. So they're going back into that old camp here of buying dollars. That's why it's up slight a bit. That was the reaction yesterday. Selling the yen to buy those dollars, to buy the NASDAQ and other stocks. So I think that the carry trade is helping boost that price action with a 2% rise in the NASDAQ market. So today we are going to get some of that labor data coming out. We do have the unemployment claims at an elevated level. 230,000 is the expectations. Look, if we see any kind of uptick on there, we could see a ramp up in this market. If we see a downtick below that 230,000 mark, expect to see some of these metals like gold and things back off just a touch here. That's going to be really the market to watch here today. Getting into the price action on the gold market, again, all-time highs. That's going to be kind of your first upside target there. Then most likely about 26.50. Downside here, keep an eye on the low of the session. Pocket support 25.85 down to 25.75. If we break that, that's not very good. We're probably going to go back down to 25.52. Silver, keep an eye on that copper market. Again, if you see a deterioration in the copper market back below the 430 level, 428, taking out the lows, you're probably going to want to ratchet up your stop losses on the silver market or take some of that position off the table as it might set to correct. Remember, when it comes to trading, I think there's really 4 characteristics that make someone successful. You've got to be confident, you got to be consistent, you got to be disciplined, and you have to have a set of trading rules. So you got any questions, give me a call, 312-858-7303. Remember, futures and option trading does involve risk of loss, may not be suitable to all investors. Good luck, good trading.